So let's talk about application architecture using .NET. First of all, let's start more general. Most likely you're going to have a UI somewhere that's displaying this kind of stuff, and if you don't, then that's fine. But most applications using MongoDB are going to have a UI somewhere, and most likely that's going to be a browser. So, Chrome or Firefox or Internet Explorer is going to be talking via HTTP or HTTPS over to a web server. And that web server, could be IIS or Apache or Nginx or whatever. And inside that web server, you're going to have some application logic that's going to be doing something. And part of that application logic is going to be using a MongoDB driver. And this is the guy who knows how to talk to MongoDB. And that MongoDB driver is going to be talking TCP back to MongoDB server. So whether that be MongoD or MongoS, if you're doing sharding. So this is kind of a general idea of what you're going to be doing in this browser component. This could be a single page application, a SPA app using Angular or React or whatever. Or it can be, more of a typical static rendering or kind of dynamic server-side rendering that the web server is putting out. And so in .NET land, this part could be written using MVC or web forms. Or if it is a web, kind of a SPA app over there, then maybe this is Web API just hosting web services, or maybe it's Nancy or simple.web or something, whatever. So it can kind of be anything in the middle, but underneath you're still going to have this MongoDB driver that's going to be talking TCP back to a Mongo server. So I've got this little simple web app kind of built up here. Here's the UI for it. It's really nothing. But it is apparently prepared for mobile, so that's good. If we have a model, let's go ahead and display that person. Otherwise, we're going to say, hey, there's no people here. And what does that person look like? Well, that person has an ID. He or she has a name, a profession, and an age. And then we've got this home controller. So when somebody requests kind of the root home/index or the root path, then we're going to have a client and a database and a collection. And typically you wouldn't do this right inside an MVC action like this, but I'm doing here just for straight out demo purposes. And we're going to go find a person whose name starts with Jane, first or default one, and then we're going to return that. And so this is the driver part, and it's going to be the part talking kind of TCP, wire protocol, all that kind of stuff back to the Mongo database server. So you don't need to worry about kind of connection management or anything. Just tell us what you want to do and we'll make sure it happens right. So when we're building the blog application, kind of our project for the course, then you'll typically be writing a bunch of this kind of code. You'll be writing the code that talks with the server. We're not trying to make you web programmers, so you're not going to have to know how to build UIs and views, and we're going to make you do a little bit of model programming, but mostly it's going to be stuff inside controllers and writing code to talk to MongoDB. So let's go ahead and launch a MongoD server over here. So I've got 3.00 running here, and if I launch the shell, then I can see that I've already connected to the test database, and db.people.find will show me nothing. So if I go ahead and run this, then I'm going to get something that should say no people, and sure enough we got that. So if I come back over to the shell and I go ahead and insert somebody in here, let's do ID 1, name can be Jane. We need to make her start with Jane. She's a hacker and her age is 24. So now we've got a person in there, and so if I refresh this page, then we'll see that she actually shows up here. So that's kind of the general application architecture for how we're going to do this class, and kind of a general overview of how this whole thing works.